Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, where I'll be giving you 3 tips for tomorrow's horse racing. Now before we get stuck into them, just want to go through a couple of things with you. Now first of all, if you haven't done so already, make sure you check out the latest video on Shreen Wu's YouTube channel, where I was hosting her Hong Kong preview, where we're looking at the card at Sha Tin tomorrow. The panel give their best bets, and I also as well give my Hong Kong nap. We had a winning nap there last week when the racing was at Happy Valley with a horse called McLucky. Did the job really well in the end, and I hope some of you were able to back it. So if you want to find out what my nap this week is in Hong Kong, make sure you hit the link in the description box below. Also, before we give you the tips for tomorrow, quickly just want to reflect on how our tips performed today. In the end, it was a good day here on the YouTube channel, as we had the nap and next best double. Pert still made all to win at Beverley. A nice game win in the end, and she got a soft time of things up on the front end, and in the end was able to get another win at Beverley. Definitely loves it at that track. Run well there in the past before. In fact, won on his last start over the course and distance, Pert Storm did, and it was nice to see him go in again today. The other tip that did well for us was our next best, Hong Kong Harry, providing Richard Fahey with his 3,000th career winner here in the UK. He's going to be a nice horse, I think, to follow going forward. He won that off a mark of 81 quite snugly in the end. It did take him a little while to get to the front, but in the end it was hands and heels in the closing stages, and I think he'll probably benefit for stepping up to a mile. So a nice horse to follow moving forward. The other selections were a little bit disappointing. My Renaissance ran okay, but maybe he's just getting a little bit old now. But the handicapper will help him, but he might still be able to run well in a couple of those low-grade handicaps. And then the other horse was Al Najib. I think he ran well in the end. The race maybe just didn't go quite his way, going to the front, which I think he should have done, because a lot of the horses that were doing the winning today were making all at Beverley. But I think maybe up and trip might see him to better effect. Maybe he might be like his half sister Vivid Diamond, might prefer going up and trip slightly. Could be a horse that might do well over 2 miles in even. So yeah, a little bit frustrating today, but I would probably mark up that run. I don't think it was a bad race at all, and there could be a little bit more to come from Al Najib moving forward. So on the whole, a good day today with the nap and next best double, and fingers crossed we can take some of that form into tomorrow's racing. Now we're going to be focusing at York tomorrow with a couple of selections, and my other tip will be at Bath. It's the first day of the Dante meeting. Always a great midweek festival. Love the racing at York normally. Always good quality, good field sizes. And yeah, let's hope we can get some winners there tomorrow. So we're going to be starting with my nap, which is going to be running in the Musidora Stakes, a Group 3, one of the Oaks trials that we have here on this side of the Irish Sea. Now, I saw 1 or 2 people in the comments have already put up Noon Star for Sir Michael Stout and Richard Kingscote. Now, even though that horse has got a lovely pedigree by Frankel out of midday, I am a little bit concerned about the form of the Wetherby win. I know Sherbet Lemon did win the Oaks trial at Lingfield, but a couple in there were disappointing. And also as well, Sir Michael Stout, he hasn't had a classic contender for a very long time. Obviously, the man is a very good trainer still. He's been a genius throughout his career, but I'm just a little bit... I think she's a little bit too short in the betting, if you ask me. And the same applies to Teodona, who could be a nice filly for Roger Varian, has been well supported in the last week or so in the Oaks market. But again, I'm not so sure what she's achieved so far. But the one I really like here, and is going to be my nap, is Mystery Angel for Ben Curtis and George Boughey, who's an up-and-coming force, is doing really well at the moment. And this horse is really being his flagship bearer. Now this horse, she won on her last start over 10 furlongs when she made all to win the listed Pretty Polly Stakes at Newmarket. She was a really progressive juvenile last year. She ran really well in some pattern company races, and she even ran in the winter a couple of times, but I think she's better on turf. All her best form has come there, and she's quite versatile ground wise. You probably wouldn't want it too deep, but she wouldn't mind if there is a little bit of rain around. And I think Ben Curtis will just go from the front to her with her tomorrow and try and dictate things. And I think if it comes into a battle or a fight, I think she just might have that experience over some of these unexposed rivals. we often see these kind of races where maybe we get drawn in by the flashy types when sometimes we're ignoring the obvious. And Mystery Angel at the current time of recording is 15-2 with bookmakers, which I think is a really disrespectful price. I'm going to recommend a 1 point each way bet here, and I think she's got a cracking chance of going really close again, especially if she replicates her win last time out. I know Noon Star and Tiona could be anything, you know, but I think they're well too short and they're more marketed on potential rather than what they've done so far. Whereas I like the good old form book, and I think Mystery Angel at 15-2 is a really decent price there. And if I was pricing her up, I would have had her in more of a 7-2, 10-3 kind of chance. I think she's got a great chance tomorrow for George Boughey's team that are in flying form. So a lot to like about Mystery Angel's chance tomorrow. We then stay at York with my next selection, which is going to be my long shot of the day in the 340 with a horse called Gioia, I think that's how you pronounce it, for Joe Fannin and Keith Dalgleish. Now this horse at the time recording was available at 16-1 with Victor, who are paying 4 places, and I'm going to recommend a 0.5 each way selection here. Now this horse, Cieca, has got a nice bit of form in his 4th place efforts at Lingfield, and if you saw my video last week, you might remember that I put up a horse that came out of this race called Big Nasty for Richard Spencer. I was really keen on that horse's chances and ran a blinder to finish in 2nd place at Ascot. Obviously was beaten by a William Haggis improver, but still at the same time ran a really good race, and I put that up each way and we were able to get a nice each way return there at quarter the odds and ran a really good race off the mark of 92. This horse for Keith Dalgleish has got a rating of 96, but I think if it replicates that run from Lingfield last time out, I think this isn't a bad mark at all for this horse. And I think 7 furlongs ideally is the right trip. He's a horse that likes to be handy, doesn't have to make the running, but if he's just in the front wave, just tracking the pace, I'll be equally fine with that. Joe Fannin always does really well from the front because he rides loads for Mark Johnston. So he's very good at, I find, at those kind of tactics, very good judge of pace. And I just think this horse tomorrow, like I said, off the mark of 96, is fine. Now, the form of that Lingfield race as well, like I mentioned last week, is really good because you've had the likes of Mega Allen win a listed race at Newcastle, and I believe we're going to see running the Dante later this week. Also as well, we've had Big Nasty from us, and El Drama as well, not to forget him. He was a winner at Chester last week, so a lot of strong form lines there. And I think if Joe Fannin can get to the front or be handy with this one, might just have enough battling qualities to stay there. I know there are a few other front runners in here, but for me, I just think he's got a lot in his favour to run a really big race tomorrow, and has been really disrespected at the prices. Again, it's probably one of those the flashier types, you know, in the sense of like horses that might look like they've got a bit more in hand when really they don't. I think that's how the market's positioned here, where he's proven that he's been a very good capable horse and was able to mix it in Pattern Company in a race where the form's worked out not too bad at all. So off the mark of 96, I think that's not a bad handicap mark at all for this horse. Keith Dalgleish horses have been running well. A lot of ticks in the boxes for me for this horse to definitely at least make the frame tomorrow, and that's why he's going to be my long shot of the day. We then head to Bath with my only tip away from York tomorrow in the 520 with my next best. Gun here with a horse called Gilt for Tyler Hurd, claiming 5, who's riding for Christopher Mason. Now this horse at the time of recording was available at 10-1 with Boyle Sports, who are paying 5 places on this race. Going to recommend a 0.5 each way selection here. Now this horse now is dropping back into Class 6 company, which I think is really going to help this filly. It's got a good record in Class 6, ran in this company 4 times, 1 win, 1 place, which isn't bad at all. And is now down to a really workable mark of 60. Was a bit unlucky, I thought, last time at Salisbury when finishing in 5th place. But if they can get the breaks tomorrow, I think she's got a very good chance in this company. It's not the strongest looking race in the world, and she's got not a bad draw to work from as well, still too. Plus, she's a course and distance winner, so that's another tick in the box. And yeah, I just think she's got a really good chance in this race tomorrow. Also as well, what is quite interesting to know about this filly is that if you actually look at her form last year when she didn't win, she actually still maintained it. She was riding in some really good creditable races. She finished 2nd at Salisbury behind a horse of Charlie Hill's that's now rated in the 90s. So yeah, there's a lot to like about this horse's chances tomorrow in this race, and I think at a double figure price, this horse should really go close, and there's lots to like about Gilt Edge's chances. So that's why she's going to be my next best of the day. And at 10 to 1 with 5 places on offer with Boyle Sports, I think that's a fairly big price. And I think she could be shorter come post time. And I think she'll take advantage of the class drop. So they're the 3 tips for tomorrow's racing. Let me know what you're going to be backing on the first day of the Dante meeting at York. Also as well, if you're enjoying these videos, remember to hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button as well. Really appreciate all the feedback and support you guys give me. Also as well, if you want to follow me on social media, Twitter is the place to do so, where my handle is @LuckyLoader15. And if you want to find a little bit more about myself, my website address is www.chrisloaderracing.co.uk. So please gamble responsibly. Hopefully we can have some winners for you tomorrow, and we'll be seeing you soon.